Good.
Okay.
Alright, I'll be right back, alright? I'm just gonna get Tammy so she can introduce herself, alright?
Okay.
Be right back. You alright?
Yeah.
These rooms are recorded.
Okay.
So anything you say in here is subject to recording, just so you know.
Okay.
And you said on your text that you might have remembered some more stuff.
Yeah.
So let's do your phones first.
I need to. They gave me a piece of paper to transfer my contacts. Wouldn't do it for me, but.
You should be able to just put them on the iCloud.
I don't know how to do this. They said to follow this app. I can't even find the app store on this phone.
Is it Android?
Yeah. So strange. I tried to transfer all the stuff from this phone to this phone last night, and started syncing up like old text, like stuff I don't even have saved in here.
Or any of them from Chris?
Yeah, a few, but not many. It's pretty short. There's like 10 or 12, and there's like a few from those days, but most of it is.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, Nikki.
This is
Yes.
Tammy.
Tammy.
And come in,
Nice to meet
Stacy.
you.
There, I'm Stacy Galbraith.
Nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
All right.
Getting through it?
Trying.
Yeah.
Stressing out.
Stressing out. Yeah, you look stressed out. Did you get some therapy figured out?
I'm waiting for you guys to get back to me on that, but I'm trying.
It'll help. Yeah. Does Hazel need to?
Yeah, we're gonna see if Hazel comes in. So Weld County's just. I had to write a letter yesterday for Weld County to approve to pay for her treatment,
Oh.
and then it's got to go through a board because it's kind of unusual
Yeah.
since she's not an eyewitness.
Right.
But it sounded like there was not going to be any opposition to it. It's just a process.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So when you go through the text messages, Tammy and probably Stacy will be there,
Okay.
so you guys know each other.
Okay.
Or if they reach out to you, you know that they're not the media.
Yeah. Can you guys give me your cards?
Yeah.
Really? I got
everyone.
Okay. I just
Thank
and now
you.
with this new phone, it's like I got so many numbers that I'm sure I can
So-
figure out the way out. But I need to just deal with that. Like if you guys can help me get all of my contacts from this phone.
So I can get a tech guy maybe to help me because I'm bad at it
He gave
too.
me
So
instructions on
this
it.
is your old phone?
This is the one that I use for communication. This is the one that's going to you guys.
Okay.
This one's mine
This
now.
is nicer.
I know. iPhones suck. I'm
I
kind of
know.
relieved to have this back.
Okay, so you want to move contacts from there to there.
That's all I want to do. Once you guys do that, then you guys can have this phone. I mean, he gave me a way to do it, so I think I need to connect to Wi-Fi, and then I need to download this app, and then I think once I download it, I can sync it up. And I need to just download the app on both phones.
So let me get a guy who knows about Wi-Fi. Is your password still 653038?
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
So that's going to be that one. And which one is getting all the new text messages? Your new phone?
I've only got a few, and they're like, now I get what you're saying, like they're out of order, they're scrambled, they're missing. They don't make sense. I got super excited when I saw them because I was like, maybe it'll be all of them, but it's not.
So maybe what I'll ask, we have a device that maybe we can download that too.
This one too? Sorry. I mean, I don't know if that'll work, but we can try it.
Here's
Yay.
mine.
Thank you.
First.
Thank you.
And then Kevin knows how to get a hold of us after hours, and then I'm going to do that too.
I
I'm gonna go
appreciate
get
that.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I need to help me with these
Oh,
phones.
okay. Are you giving her a spare phone? Is that what
She
you
has her own spare phone, but when she linked her accounts, a bunch of messages between her and Chris were recovered on her new phone.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna have to probably just sell Brett right now
Oh, okay.
on her new phone, so we don't have to take all her phones.
Yeah, no doubt.
Are you good here for a bit? Okay.
Do you want some water or anything?
Please.
Okay.
All right, tech guy's coming to help us.
I would do it myself, but it's like there's so many different, I haven't used this phone in years.
Okay.
And like right now,
So it's not very new?
This is old.
Okay.
I haven't used this since like 2016. And so all these numbers on here are numbers of people I've gotten since then. What I don't want is with like the media and all this other stuff going on, is have a phone just full of unknown contacts.
Sure, I get it.
Like,
So he's gonna come over and turn your Wi-Fi on and figure out how to move
all of that.
He knows
Okay, I'll
about
let him do
this.
that. I give up.
Okay. So your phone this time, do you have any objections to us looking at everything in your phone?
Why do you guys need that? I'm just curious. Like, why do you need everything as opposed to just stuff
So
being there?
Well, because it's easier to get it. And if we're looking at all the material, let's say I take everything off your phone, I can put a date in, like let's say August 10th through the 15th, because those are critical days. But other conversations between you and Chris, or other text messages between you and Chris from June or July, then it makes it harder for me to find all those. Do you understand what I mean? It's easier for them to just take everything. I don't know. Are they?
Yeah. I mean, except for when I first met him, and it was his APC thing.
Okay. And then what about your phone log? It's always his 910 number.
All the time.
Right.
Like it's always that one, or originally was his.
We talked about your GPS locating, like knowing where your phone is at certain times.
I mean, you guys can have all that. I just was like, oh my god, I have so many texts on here between me and all my friends. I'm like, do they really want all this stuff?
Well, is there anything in those texts that you'd be concerned with?
Not really.
So, well, not really, or yes or no?
No, I mean, like, the other day, my dad and I decided to do some damage control because a lot of people were like, hey, please call me, I don't know what to say. And I just told them all, like, I didn't say anything. I pretty much just said, if mediators contact you, tell them no comment. I was like, please be nice to them. Like, you do not need to talk to them. It was like, I'm safe, I'm not in trouble, I've been breaking laws. And I was just like, just send your love and support. And that was all I said to people.
So did that prompt all the phone calls of people going,
No,
are you okay?
They were prompting me.
Right.
That is why I did that, because I didn't even want to, like, say that, but I was getting all sorts of texts from people that were like, media's trying to contact me, I don't know what to do. I didn't tell them that I was a witness. I didn't tell them anything about that. It was just like, just say no comment. I need you to do this.
Okay.
And then a couple of my like super close friends, I asked them if they would be courteous enough to take all the pictures that we had of each other off Facebook and social media, and they said yes, and that was like a couple of really close friends.
Is there any text messages between you and friends that reference anything that would be concerning regarding this case?
No.
Like talking about Chris? I think you've told me that you've never even really talked with
my friends about him. No, and like my friend's dad died last night, like yesterday.
I'm not worried about that.
No, I know, but she started like, oh my god, she was really drunk last night. She started like freaking out. She's like, I don't know what's going on in your life. She's like, I don't know if it pertains to this case. And she like just sent me like a screenshot of a news article of that case, and she was just like, she's like,
what about conversations?
I didn't mention that it had anything to do with that. She's like, I don't know if that's what it is. He works in Anadarko. She's like, I really don't give a shit. She's like, I just really need you to be here with me and my dad and this and this and this. And she was just kind of upset because I had asked her to please say no comment to the media, and it happened to be like right when her dad died, and I think she was feeling a little like, yeah, but I mean, you guys can read this. There's nothing in there of me actually saying anything about it. I just told
What's your phone number on that phone?
720. It's the same phone number that's on this one. 656-9605. So no, I mean, you guys can look
So
at this.
there was a conversation that I asked you about between you and Charlotte too.
That's the same girl.
That same girl who was freaking out.
Yeah.
So was there ever a conversation about kids with you and Charlotte, like you? I can't remember the exact context, but you guys were talking.
Hanging out with a guy who had kids.
Okay. And what?
She has not even like put.
All right. So your conversation about him having kids, how did that go?
I mean, I don't know. I just told her.
Is it still? Did you delete that, or is it still?
No. I have no reason to delete anything else on my phone. The only reason I deleted all this stuff with Chris is because he was making me feel really uncomfortable, and I didn't want to see it in my phone anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, let me scroll all the way back here. I'm going to scroll talk a lot. No, she is like...
So let's just, while we're here, because we talked about this before, but we didn't talk about the specific context of what that message said regarding to children. So obviously, in the situation that we're looking at now with the death of 2 children and all the other circumstantial stuff going around in the case, I just want to make sure there was no comments ever made by you regarding, you know, children or dislike of children or love of children, either way. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Let me find it. I think this is where this starts. I mean, you guys can just take whatever you want off of there.
So it's easier for me to just take everything than it is to single it out. Plus, for the purposes of this case, the less exposure, you know, we already have, initially you drew concern from me when you told me you deleted everything from Chris. I've already told you that. You understand why. There's no question as to why that might cause concern. So if there's anything else that ever comes up, I have it, and then we can just discuss it. Do you understand what I mean? All right.
It's right here. This is where it starts. She starts right there. She starts talking about her and her fiance. So that was like weeks ago. She hasn't brought it up since, really, or like connected the dots, or like said shit. I mean, you guys can look through all those texts. And I don't know when that was. That was definitely when things were going good. So this is like weeks prior, I'm just assuming. I think the date is at the top of whenever we started texting that day.
Looks, this is
We talk a lot.
August 7th.
Yeah.
So I reference everything to Sunday the 12th.
So that's the only conversation like that on there, I believe, on my phone. I don't think there's like anything else. And she even last night, like, still wasn't even, she's so worried about her dad. Other than that, there shouldn't really be anything on with other people. But you guys can just pull everything off that phone.
As long as you're okay with that, that's would be
I mean,
my
if that
preference.
makes your life easier.
It's not just about making it easier, it's just less. So if there's any question, like I told you before, like the two girls you just met did a lot of interviews in this case. They've done a lot of work. They may know things that I don't. There's no way we can all know everything. So they might go, oh, because somebody else was the one who told me about Charlotte and this message. So I've never read this.
Well, that's probably why.
Potentially,
I'm assuming that that's what that is. Because I said his name. And I don't even think she's put two and two together, because last night it was just like the way she was talking. She wasn't like, this is him, this is it. She was like, I don't know what's going on. I just assume this is it, because this guy works at Anadarko, but she is not even like processing. What is occurring?
What do you mean by can tell he has a lot to take care of in life? What did you mean when you said that?
He has a mortgage and he has kids.
Okay.
And responsibility. I mean, he's a father with a house.
You're even saying in here he's all about his kids.
Yeah. And she was like asking me somewhere in there, like, I mean, everything I had to say about him at that point was like really positive. Like, I think I made it clear that I wasn't like 100% sure this was like the man of my dreams and I was going to spend the rest of my life with him or anything, but I was enjoying the time that I was spending with him at that point.
You're referencing that he has 2 kids, and then you don't like that because you want to have that experience with somebody else? Is that what?
I just said I wasn't sure if he was the one that I wanted to be with because he had already like done everything.
Okay.
Like I was like, it would be really nice to kind of like have kids and have my own marriage and all of that stuff. That was never anything I conveyed to him.
So you said he's handsome, huh? Did you send her a picture?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not attached here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because do you think from what you
I
deleted?
think it's from when I deleted all my photos of his stuff.
He's kind of short.
I mean, I talk to her in a way that I wouldn't like talk to him as like my girl, you know what I'm saying? It's
I get it.
different.
No, I'm just
It's very,
I'm just
like-
teasing you a little bit. So now you're just talking about shoes and
Other stuff.
okay.
But then she
So
brought it up again last night, but she didn't
brought
like
up what?
that
Chris?
case, but she didn't like connect the dots. She was like freaking out, like her dad just died. And she was really
Was that
upset. She wanted me to come see her on Saturday because it's his wake.
So unexpected.
Kind of, sort of. He had Parkinson's, so kind of, but not. You know what I'm saying? It was a very drawn out thing. But she's having a really hard time with it. I knew she would, and she's like, can you make the wake on Saturday? And I was like, I'm really hesitant to leave the house, and I didn't tell her that, but I was like, I don't know, I'll try, and I'm gonna go, but I'm not gonna tell her until it's like right before I need to be there. And
So what did she reference last? Just is Chris the guy? I'm more interested.
No, she didn't even ask me if she was just like, she's like, I don't know what's going on. She's like, you can see it.
Okay. So you mentioned on your text before you were coming that there was other information that you thought of that was important again?
Yeah.
More info?
You let me get so sidetracked.
I'll look at this when you do that, and then
I'll show you where it is.
Yeah,
There's
show
so
me where it
much in here. Like, I will just say.
you guys talk a lot.
Oh, yeah. She is like right here. So first she sends me this, and she's not even asking me about him. She's saying he looks like her ex. That's when she first brings him up. She doesn't even mention me at that point. I don't even think she realizes it's the same guy. Like, legitimately. I think this girl is so wrapped up in all the stuff that she's got going on right now that I don't think it's even processing. I mean, you can just tell by the way that she, like, talks. See, and she's all upset because I asked her to not talk to the media, and it happened to be the day that her dad died, and I'm sitting here trying to comfort her.
Is this your best friend?
Yes. This girl is like my whole world.
Alright. But you're not talking about children or your relationship with Chris or anything like that?
No, the only time I ever mentioned him was like that one day.
Okay.
And I didn't even remember that I even had like said that to her because I just...
What's her phone number?
720-425-7330.
So I'm not going to call her, but at some point you might want to talk to her, just so you know. I mean, sooner or later she's going to connect the dots, or you're going to tell her, right, if she's your best friend.
I'm not going to tell her. If she figures it out, she figures it out.
Okay. If we were going to talk to her, I'd let you know beforehand. Is that fair?
Yeah, just so I can give her a heads up.
Yep.
And she apologized to me, like, because she was being kind of crazy last night. She was.
So tell me about the new info that you remembered.
Okay, see right here, hold on. She said, look, man, I know you work at Anadarko. He did too. I know he murdered his wife and kids. I know he was a dog. I know you're my best friend. I know you have a good heart. I know that that guy needs to go to jail, and he will. I know you don't want publicity, and neither would I. I know that as a witness, if you say anything, it can cause a mistrial. I know you don't want that, neither do I. Fuck the media. I want my best friend here. I never fucking said anything to her about a trial.
Okay.
So,
but
see, look, she goes, I don't even care if you flirted with him or more. I know you had nothing to do with what happened, and I don't care if your job is having an open investigation. I'm not going to ask you a single question, but my pops died and you're my best friend.
Okay.
And I said, please stop talking about that. And she said, what, are you on house arrest? And she just keeps saying, my father died, what the fuck? She was not okay last night, and I was just trying to, like,
understandable,
mitigate this. And I was, like, trying to calm her down. And I said, Charlotte, I'm trying so hard to be the best friend I can to you right now. I said, I want to talk to you about that case. I didn't say the case. I said that case. Like, I wasn't even affiliated with it at all, and you need to respect that. I'm here for you regarding your dad, and you know this. And then she's...
But what's
freaking out and freaking out.
You guys never had a conversation except for this past text messages about Chris and his children.
No, that was it.
Okay.
That was it.
That's fine.
I mean, because he wasn't really something that I, like, super wanted everybody to know about, and I shouldn't have even mentioned it when she brought up what she had, like, going on sexually with her fiance, and it happened, but at that point...
You guys are best friends, it's understandable.
Yeah, see, and she keeps trying to talk about it. She says, if you're not under investigation by the police, I don't care. Why can't you attend your so-called best friend's father's death? It doesn't make sense to me. And all I told her was stop.
And she just like, her dad.
Yeah, and she just is like freaking out. And finally I just told her, you know, getting mad at me isn't going to bring your dad back. And that is when she chilled.
Okay.
Well, she kind of went on another rant, but it had nothing to do with Chris. And then she apologized to me this morning for being drunk and sad and angry that her dad died.
What other new information?
Okay, see, we got so much going on, I texted it to myself because I can't forget this.
You make sure before you leave you see Hazel. You need to get some help.
I know, I've been asking. So he was talking for a few weeks, like
give me a time frame.
Okay. So he went to North Carolina. When he came back from North Carolina, I was informed sometime either when he was on the trip or when he was like getting back, but in that area, that they filed for divorce and that they were gonna put the house up and for sale. And he was like, she's the one that called the realtor. Because he told me that he had spoke to her when he was in North Carolina about it, and then the next day, she was the one who called the realtor.
When you say she, Shanann?
Yes.
And when you say, the time frame they came back from North Carolina, you don't remember the specific dates, but it was like the first or second week of August?
Yeah, I think I told you guys when they left. I think he left on Tuesday the 31st of July.
I do remember you saying that.
And I don't remember when he came home. I really don't. I don't remember if it was like...
So is this a phone conversation or is this a text conversation?
No, this happened over the phone. And he told me that that was when I had said, hey, when you go to North Carolina, I really think you should try to fix things with your wife. And he kept asking, well, what about us? And I was trying to kind of take a step back and see if he would fix things before attempting to pursue things with me, because I wanted to know that if all of these things he's saying, like, yes, we're getting separated, and yes, you know, all of these things that he's saying are happening, I wanted to know that it was like, you were doing this like you said you were prior to me coming in your life, and it had nothing to do with me, you know. And so for me it was like, I really wanted them to fix it. I would have just like left the situation.
So tell me why Shanann calling a realtor and him mentioning that they were going to be divorced. Why do you think it's important?
Because so after that, he was like, she's the one who called the realtor. And I remember I was like, damn, that was fast. Because I knew he told me, like, we were going to put the house up, but they said, he was like, we didn't know how much to offer for it, and we were kind of trying to find somebody. And it, like, so for the first few weeks that I hung out with him, he kind of, like, dragged his feet on, hey, this is happening. And then after North Carolina, he's like, yeah, she wants to put the house up. She's the one that called the realtor. And I was, like, kind of taken back, not necessarily at the speed of it, given how long he said that they'd been separating, but the fact that she did it, like, the day after he supposedly sat down and had a conversation with her about, hey, do we fix this or do we not fix this relationship?
So do you remember how many days she was back in Colorado before leaving? Do you know that?
Because I don't remember when they got home.
Right.
I don't.
I'm just trying to get your memory jogged there on that. But so this was, they get home, he had told you in North Carolina that they agreed to, and they're finalized their relationship.
Yeah.
They get home and she immediately wants to sell the house.
Yes. And then, so, I mean, I started thinking, okay, well, I know in Colorado houses sell very fast here. So I was like, what's your plan? You know, and I was like, because you might want to be prepared. And I remember that's when the whole concept came up of, you probably need to start looking for a new place pretty quick. And that was when he was kind of overwhelmed with it, and I told him, I was like, look, like, I just moved a few months ago, and I was like, to find a place that was comfortable for me, it was like, it took, like, a lot of research, and that's when I offered to help. I was like, I'll help you, and he seemed pretty gung-ho about it for, like, the first week, and he seemed very grateful, and I was putting in work on it, and I was like calling him and kind of letting him know about places, and there really wasn't that many options in Brighton. I found one. I actually texted it to myself before I texted it to him, because I still have that in my phone too, because I found it and it was great, but it was like right at the beginning of my search, and I was like, I don't want to inundate him.
So you said a week. You think you worked on that for a week?
No, I honestly only probably spent like a few hours over a few days and just trying to like line it up.
Just trying to think about how many days she had been back while you were working on that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So you said, did you actually work on it for a week straight?
No.
Okay.
It was just like a couple days after work. I would just like spend a couple hours if I had time, like at the end of my day, or if I didn't go to the gym, and just sit down. And I mean, I can give you a date on one that I worked on, because I texted that one to myself. This one, I loved this one. When is this? Saturday, August 11th.
That's the night you guys went out?
Yeah.
To the lazy dog.
Yes.
Or the two lazy dogs.
Yes.
All right. What else?
Yeah, so the reason that this is important is because he, like, up to that point, seemed like he was all about it, you know, and I was respecting him. I wasn't like, oh, you need to get this, you need to get that. I was like, what city do you want to live in? What side of town is she staying in? You know, how close do you want to be to work? How close do you want to be to your kids? I mean, I asked him everything. I just wanted him to have something that was accommodating for his whole family. And he told me that she was probably going to stay in the Frederick area, but he never said for sure. The first time I asked him, he's like, I don't know where she's going to go, but she'll probably stay in this area. And I was like, Chris, if you're going to get an apartment, like, you need to figure that out, because the last thing you want is to be like an hour drive from your kids. It's like, you know, you got to be close. And so I ended up asking him again like a couple days later, and that was when he was like, I think she's staying in the Frederick area. And I was like, okay. And that's when I was like, started to get details, like where, and if you guys find my text, you'll see it, where I'm asking like, where do you want to live, like how close do you want to be to work, those things, like, you know, do you care what gym you go to? Like, what are you looking for? You know,
talked about this previously.
Yeah. So the thing was he was like super gung-ho about it, and then on Saturday, that day, I remember being outside with him when this conversation happened, but I don't know where. I don't know if we were like walking into the restaurant or walking to the car, but I like vaguely remember being outside with him, and I was like, he had told me that he wanted to go look at some places the upcoming week. And we were supposed to go do that on Wednesday. And I was like, I asked him, I was like, what places do you want to go see? And I was like, did you really like that place that I showed you? Because it was just like super convenient for everything. And it had a little playground and it had a pool. Like it would have been awesome for his kids. And it was cheap. And it was like close to Frederick. It was like, it was close to the gym. It was close to work. It was close to me. It was close to everything. And it was in Brighton, which is what he wanted. And so, I was like, did you want to go check that place out? And he's like, yeah, I guess. And he like didn't seem sure anymore. And that was the part that I wanted to tell you. I just figured I'd give you all the backstory.
Sure. So he's not sure about the particular apartment or about even leaving?
So he told me that he looked at it and he told me that he thought it was nice, but it didn't really seem like his interest was that piqued. And I was like, well, did you find anything that you really wanted to look at? And he told me, yeah, that he'd found a few, but nothing that really, really piqued his interest. And I was like, well, you might want to get started. And he's like, well, I found one, and I asked him, I said, which one is it? Because I think I've looked at like every apartment in Brighton, and maybe I'll remember it. And he's like, I don't know, I don't remember the name of it. And he kind of just like disregarded it. And it was kind of strange to me because like the whole week prior, he was like so excited that I was trying to help him because he's busy, I'm busy. So I was like, you look, I'll look, let's see if we can try to narrow it down to like 4 or 5 spots, and then we'll find something that's good for you and your girls. You know, and he seemed like very enthusiastic about it, like during the week when the conversations first really started ramping up about like, you probably got to figure something out because that house is going to sell really fast, you know, or at least be prepared. And
so why do you think he was removed or not interested on your Saturday night, wherever you guys were?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes like I think about these things and I feel like they're all assumptions, but at that point, like maybe he already knew something that I didn't. I don't know. But it was just a complete mood change where he just didn't even seem that interested. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, we don't have to do that on Wednesday if you don't want to. And he's like, no, I know I need to get it done. And I was like, all right.
Okay.
You know, because I wasn't going to like force him to do it. If he doesn't want to do it, don't do it. Just say no, you know. And I was like, and for me, I was like, I was just offering to help because it's like, I know what a tedious task it is trying to find a new place to live.
Right. What else? Any other new info?
That part where he was just like really unplugged on Saturday, and then there was something else that went with that. Let me just think for a minute. It was I didn't write all this down. I just wrote that part down. I can't believe I can't remember all this stuff.
Yeah, you remember so much stuff already.
Slowly comes to me all the time. Well, some of this stuff is just things that you would never think about. And now that I'm like, hindsight's 20/20,
right.
I'm like starting to go back. There was something else that happened on Saturday that had to do with all of this.
Think about it for a minute. I'm going to see if my tech guy has his equipment charged.
Do that.
And we'll get your phone taken care of.
Okay.
So, again, I'm going to have you sign this voluntary consent.
Yep.
It's the same thing that you signed in Thornton, saying that, you know, I didn't threaten you, intimidate you. You have a right to say no. I want you to read the document again. We're going to take your phone. We're going to use a program called Celebrate. If you go to your phone store, that's what they use. Sometimes they used to do this. They used to move your stuff back and forth. It's the same thing. They're going to take that information, and then an examiner who is skilled in looking at cell phone data is going to look at it to try to recover the deleted material that we're after.
I hope that they can get
the deleted material is what I'm after. Obviously.
I know it is. I feel so bad that I did that. I didn't even, honestly, like, that's not even what I was thinking about. I was just so, did not want, like, any presence from him.
So you're okay with us doing
just
everything?
Just take the whole phone.
Awesome.
Just take it. because I feel like we've been trying
I'm
to
gonna
do
put
this, like,
all data on here,
yeah,
just for ease,
take what
okay?
you need,
So
you know?
read that, and make sure you sign it, that you understand that we're gonna take all the data. Once I have all that stuff, I'll get your phone back to you.
That's okay, I mean, I'm not even gonna use it anymore, I'm gonna just use this.
Okay,
because it's
I'm gonna
better.
still get it back to you as soon as we're done,
Okay,
all right? So, next week sometime maybe,
okay,
or the week after, or something like, somewhere in that time frame. Okay?
okay.
All right, relax for a minute, I'll be back in a sec.
I remembered, by the way, I got it,
Remember what?
in my head, what I needed to tell you.
Okay?
Okay.
You just said you remembered something besides that. Were you,
Oh, you
Wanna
wanna
walk
have this
in?
conversation right now?
he's an agent, he
Okay.
works with me, he knows about this
I can
case too.
step out if you feel more comfortable.
Oh,
but
no,
it's-
I mean,
it's
I
okay,
don't
you-
know,
if-
whatever.
You
know,
tell me.
He had a fire stick. He kept talking about, you know what a fire stick is?
No.
Okay, you probably do, since you're a tech guy. They're like...
Oh, you mean like an Amazon Fire Stick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so he didn't have it in his possession, but on
Who's he
Saturday...
though, Chris?
Yes. So Chris mentioned to me that on Saturday, that same day, that... Oh, because this kind of went hand in hand with the whole, like, apartment talk. Because I was like... Oh, that apartment that he said he found, that he was like... I was like, well, what's it called? And he's like, I don't remember. And I was like, well, how much is it? He's like, it's close to $1,100. And I was really taken back by that, because I pay more than that, and I don't really have that nice of a place, and it's not a 2-bedroom, it's a 1. So that part kind of seemed odd to me, but I'd seen a few things online that were kind of cheap, and I was just like, all right. And he's like, I'm just trying to cut costs. And I was like, that's cool. I was like, how else are you doing that? And it was just out of curiosity. And he's like, well, I decided to get rid of cable. And I was like, okay. And I was kind of taken back by that too, because he loves sports. Dude, like, lives and breathes football. So I was like, okay. And I was like, that's a good cost to, you know, to cut back on. And he was like, yeah, I think I can still stream sports via a Fire Stick. And I've heard of those things before. I don't really know a lot about them. But he was saying that he had a buddy working on it already for him.
Who's the buddy?
He didn't say, I didn't ask.
Why do you think that's important?
That he had all that set up? I don't know. I mean, it made me believe that...
That he was ready to move out? Is that?
Oh,
or
I
he's
get what
ready
you're
to
saying.
go?
Yeah, like he was prepping. It still sounded like he was
Okay.
prepping. I mean, everything he did sounded like he was getting ready for everything to happen. The only thing that I found really peculiar about the whole situation was the fact that he just kind of seemed disconnected about the apartment thing on Saturday, whereas in previous conversations, he was the one who brought it up, and he was the one who seemed really excited about it when I offered to help him do some, like, legwork on trying to find him a spot for him and his girls.
Right.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So I don't know who his friend was. It was just weird, because sometimes it seemed like some of the things he said, he was still really... A lot of things he said made sense. It still to this day makes sense. And then other things that he said don't make sense at all to me anymore. Or like they changed, you know?
Sure. Well, you know a lot more now. Well, unfortunately, you know a lot more now about terrible things that may have happened that changed the way you're thinking about what he said, too. So, making you think differently about those kind of, that verbiage. Right?
Definitely.
Okay. So,
I think...
we've talked a lot about a lot of different things.
I hope I'm helping you guys.
You certainly are.
I hope so, because I don't like having this stuff on the top of my head. It's so hard, and so many days I can tell that my mind is trying to, like, block it all out right now, and I think it's almost like a subliminal, like, coping mechanism, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying to, like, think about it so that I can help you guys, and that's why.
So why don't you give yourself a break for a day or two and just live a normal life? Stop thinking about this stuff for a day or two and then revisit it. Maybe that'll help you, because you look like you're tired again.
I lost my job yesterday, so that's where that comes from.
You lost your job with the geosciences place as well? Okay, sorry to hear that. I think you mentioned with your skill set though, you should be easily employable in another locale.
I don't know. I hope somebody hires me. I hope people don't see my name on a resume and just not hire me.
Well, your name hasn't even made it in the papers yet.
Not yet.
So, remember you said that you had some locations you could go out of state, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you're thinking or whatever is going to work for you.
Yeah, I'm thinking a lot about all of that. It's just a matter of timing and trying to figure out when to do it. Hesitant to do it all too soon and then have to do it all over again.
Tell me the name of the geosciences company. I forget.
Tasman,
that's right.
I think I was just so bummed because they told me that they would keep me, and then they called me back and let me go, and I was just like, man.
So did they essentially fire you, for lack of a better term? And that was yesterday?
Yeah. They said they let me go because they hired me to do a contract job, and now that contract was over. It was unfortunate because Anadarko actually offered to pay me for a while, and Tasman said no. So I just wish they would have been honest with me in the first place, but it is what it is.
So now you're out looking for a job too?
I haven't even started doing that. It's not even like a priority to me at this point, but it will get dealt with. So yeah, so I need Hazel to help me out with this lease and sell my truck and change my entire life, and hopefully somebody somewhere will give me a decent job and give me a chance and not judge for all of this whole disaster. So that's why it's...
You said Hazel was helping you out with some of your lease stuff. All right. So
yeah.
When we're here, I think she usually comes in the afternoon today. So we'll check with her.
Hey, I think Matt just went the other way looking for me, but he'll be back eventually.
Awesome. So you must want this for something.
Probably charge my phone. I didn't charge the last thing I charged.
This one? Yeah.
Here.
What's this? Oh, this is the Verizon call logs?
To the 13th.
From what date to what date? You want this one back?
It's a month.
Sorry.
Okay, you're good?
I don't know. It's a month, so it's probably whatever 30 days was, probably July 14th, I'd assume, till August 13th. You'll see it. When you open it up, you'll see it. But it's a month. So my billing...
Can I just take this real quick and move it off your thumb drive, and I'll give you your thumb drive back?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
That's yours.
You don't need this back?
No. I mean, you can give it back if you want.
Yeah, I'll just go download this to my computer real quick.
It's a month. It ends on the 13th, and that's why I was saying when they bill me next month, then I can give you the 14th and past that. And I could have given you the 14th now, but because they haven't billed me for it, like this isn't a nice PDF, but the unbilled one is like in this janky Excel format, and you could like manipulate the data. I don't want to give
what is on here specifically? PDF of your complete phone bill for your cell phone.
That ends on August 13th.
Okay.
Everything after that, you
I'm gonna go put this on my phone, or
Okay,
go put it on my
and
computer.
my lease agreement is on there, and I told Hazel that you had it.
Okay,
So
I'll share it
that
with
to
her.
because she needs that.
Yep, I
and
will.
then there's also like a computer record of me talking to the Verizon wireless people, asking them if they can restore my text and what they had to say about it, just so that you guys know that I did the due diligence to attempt to do
Sure,
that.
got it.
So those are the three things that are on there.
So the messages that synced up when you started are on this phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when she started, this phone's like 2 years old.
Okay.
but when she turned it on, a bunch of deleted messages from Chris that were on that
Uh-huh.
phone synced up with that phone.
Okay.
So that's the one I want to try to rip.
Okay, so we're gonna download this
Yeah,
phone, but
this
we wanna
one's
get
coming
the
as evidence.
context
Yep,
on
exactly.
here.
So
Okay.
this one's going to be coming with us as evidence. That one will
Okay.
just rip, so she has a phone.
Okay. I need you to log into Google.
I'm just trying to figure this out, I don't know.
Oh, okay. That might be an issue.
I know. I mean, if you guys really can't do it, I'm just trying to
Well,
go through and figure out who is.
there's another way we can do it, or we can try.
Man, I'm usually really good about passwords. I don't know. I really don't. I was
Okay.
messing with this before you walked in here.
Okay. And that's the only way you can download apps, right?
Was through this?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to figure
I'm
it out.
not an Android guy, so I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't used the Android phone in like 2 years.
Okay.
I guess I'll have to figure this out. That sucks, but it's okay.
Well, there's another thing that we can try. And we can try and use the machine that we use to download the phones can also transfer. I've never done that, so I don't know how it's gonna work, but we're gonna give it a shot.
Okay. That would be so nice, because I was looking at these messages and I was like, oh my god, like, don't know.
Right.
I mean, again, I'm sure I could figure it out pretty quick if I read the text. Look at them all.
Yeah.
They're all different.
Okay.
And so you would just save me a lot of time and stress.
Okay, and then we're keeping this one,
Yes.
downloading it and giving it back.
Yeah, and then this one, I think he only needs one number off of, and that one you guys are taking everything.
Okay, but we're keeping this phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's yours.
Okay.
Thanks.
Alright, let me go see if I can transfer the contacts.
Do you want the wall charger that goes up?
I'll just put it here so I don't forget it, but I don't need it right now. I will be right back. Or in a little bit.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm alright. I like your little blouse. It's adorable.
Thank you. Thank you. So, I don't have too much time. I just want to say hello. Oh, how you doing?
I'm alright.
I don't believe you.
I'm gonna step out.
Okay.
I have that now. I have the lease. I'll give it to Hazel. Okay. Did he get your phones taken care of?
I don't know. He took them both. He
All right.
said he was gonna try.
I'll step out for a few minutes.
Okay.
Give you guys a few seconds. All right. If you remember anything else, we'll talk before you leave. All right. Hazel said she knew that you had been fired, so maybe get some advice on that too, about potentially leaving here and starting anew somewhere else. Probably is a good thing. All right. I'll be back in a few.
Thank you. So, Anadarko decided to be at the company as well?
Yeah. Well, Anadarko just terminated my contract. I mean, I don't blame them. That's just not a good place to be.
Yeah.
But they were concerned, and they offered to pay for like a few weeks.
Well, that is pretty generous.
It was very generous, and Tasman cut it off. They're just like, we don't want to bill a contractor if you're not actually working. Like, but you don't even
Well, actually, I don't have to go and find out where he is.
We're trying to get your phones to work, but you don't remember your Google account?
I should, to be honest with you. It's like programmed into the two places I use it all the time, and so I don't have to remember.
So the only way to transfer your contacts from that phone, from your iPhone to that phone, is with your Google account.
I mean, if I need to, I know.
We're gonna print we downloaded them so we have the file available, we can print it for you.
Can you do that? That would be nice.
But we can't move them because
That's okay.
your phone is essentially, you won't be able to download apps or anything like that without your Google account.
Okay.
So, but you do know it?
You do know my Google account?
Yeah.
No, if I did, then we wouldn't be in this.
But you know, do you have it somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm sure I could
Okay.
like reset it and figure it
So
out at
what
this point. when
just
I'm
making
not
sure you
here.
have a phone that's gonna be usable.
Yeah, I mean, I can make incoming and outgoing
Okay.
calls at this point, is all I really care about.
So he's gonna download the messages that, uploaded when you redid your phone. So that's it shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, there's not much on there.
Yeah.
It's pretty short.
Should take just a few minutes and then we're done.
They're all like, they're not even on the right date, some of them. It's really weird how they're time stamped.
Okay.
Like, there's one on there on the 13th, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was a conversation. that-
Between you and Chris?
Yeah, but it was like not that same day.
The
Like-
13th was a Wednesday.
Or the 12th, I don't even know.
All right.
It's
We'll
not in
look
the
at
right
them.
spot. They're
Okay.
not in the right spot.
Maybe the date on the phone's messed up. I don't know. I'll look at the phone and we'll see.
Well, it was out of order. Like, unless I'm confused, but I'm pretty sure the last text on there between me and him was actually probably somewhere in the middle of the text.
So when you say out of order, like,
Like, it's saying, oh, hey, this happened on, like, Tuesday, but really, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that happened at a different point.
okay, all right.
It's only that
if
one.
it's critical, we'll talk about it.
I don't think...
I need to look at the text first, though, before I know.
Of course.
Okay.
Understood.
You probably want to go.
Yes, well,
Because you have your
I want to.
you have your next client coming in.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
yeah, you're welcome, and I'll send you those therapists, and then, just get started and giving them a call and seeing who you think is gonna be a good fit for you.
Thank you so much, Hazel.
And call me or text me anytime, okay?
I appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, Jason.
All right, I'm gonna see where he's at. What else, anything else while we're here that you can think of or you want to address or you remember?
Sometimes I feel like I remember stuff, but it's like vague, you know? Like, I'm like, I don't know.
And not everything's important, obviously.
Yeah.
I know I tried to get you to remember as much as I could because a lot of the stuff that you have told me over the last couple conversations is relative and it's important. And I appreciate you going back and looking at calendars and doing all that stuff.
Are they gonna post anything if they don't find out anything? Because I'm just surprised they haven't.
About
said
what?
anything yet. About me. I mean, it's been 4 days.
You know
And
that
it's
they
really-
are dying to find out who you are.
I know. They haven't even reached my inner circle yet. It's been 4 days.
You got good friends.
Yes, I do.
So be thankful for that. And we've had this conversation. Is it, you said you're thinking about going somewhere else? Go.
I don't know when I'm gonna do that. And can you guys help me with the name change? Can you do that? I'm serious, please.
So I can't do anything for you. That's a legal process. It's really not that difficult. There's just paperwork that needs to be filled out. I think your best bet would just be to call and maybe ask an attorney to help you with that, or seek advice from, I don't even know who you'd call, honestly, but people change their name all the time when they get married, so it's probably the county clerk, but I think it would have to be at a state level to make a name change, but I don't know specifically how to do that. I don't.
Does that become public? Because that would defeat the purpose.
I don't know. I know it can be done, I just don't know how to do it, and I wouldn't even know who to reach out. I mean, I could find out and let you know, but I don't know how to do it. The witness protection thing is very, very rare.
I'm not expecting that.
Yes.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going to hurt you, all those things, so.
No, I'm not expecting that. I don't even know. Sometimes I'm I just want to do it now, and I'm why? Because
But if you go to another
I
state.
feel like it would defeat the purpose. A part of me, I I keep getting really scared that it's gonna be really hard to find good employment for like a really long time, like years and years and years of my life. I feel like people aren't
But
gonna wanna hire
if you
me.
go to another state, this is not headlines in that state. You realize that.
I mean, yeah, I do.
And if I do a background on you, you're a good employee. It doesn't come up that you dated Chris Watts and you're involved in this case. It doesn't work that way. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
But, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this is just like one of those things that if it goes to court, it's gonna be like huge.
Well, I mean, it's national right now, but it's not like, you know, it's not the theater event that happened in Aurora 7 years ago, right? That everybody in the world knew about. It's not that. So, certainly for you, you're under the microscope and you're feeling it. And nothing anybody can say can change that for you. So, I get it. But I think you need to just step back for a minute, take a breath, figure out what you're going to do. Obviously, you have some very serious decisions to make over the next, couple of months.
I know. I'm trying to find out how to do all this without spending all my savings. Just saving up for a house, and I'm just like, damn it.
But at least you have savings to fall back on, too. A lot of people can't say that.
Yeah, that is true. Well, since they fired me, hopefully I can get unemployment for a little while so I can, get my mind right and go to therapy and then go back to work at that point, because it's hard. This was like the dream job. I feel awful about all of this. I wanted that for so long to get out of the oil field. I was so tired of living on oil rigs. It's such a rough life. I just want to be in the office and work in environmental for an oil company, and I finally got it, and all this happened.
Well, you have that skill set now, so maybe you can move back into that.
I hope so. We will see.